Man, something's off and I can't find it. I've been looking for it. I've been looking for it for a day now. I've been looking to it for a day to the point that I made a video and brought it to you, the Eagles. I read all your comments and we're just not there. Something is off with Islam at 170. There's something missing. The best I can do as the detective trying to get to the bottom of this is to give you a timeline, like any other detective would. Great, let's just start it 2 weeks ago. The number one thing that anybody wanted to see Islam Makhachev do was Ilia Topuria. Going into Madison Square Garden. This was the talk. Going into Madison Square Garden. And guys, let me share this from my perspective because I watched Islam become a star. I watched it. The Pacific Palisades caught on fire. They thought the event might have to be canceled. The main event was to be Islam versus Sarukian. Both guys get there in spite of the natural disaster that we're in, but Sarukian never hits the scale. Islam tells Dana White, I don't care who the replacement is, but this is real. See, this is Islam's code. It's possibly this statement and this attitude in front of everything else as to why Islam did become a star, but he tells Dana White, you pick the opponent. I'm the champion, so I have no say. I must face anybody that can make the weight class. Great. But when it gets revealed to us, the public, that was said, that is a very endearing thing. Look, insert Moicano, who Islam had never planned for. Insert the fact that Nurmagomedov was upset in the co-main event. So that entire locker room that's up and they got a high and they got an energy, that it goes completely flat and Islam has to go make his walk. Believe me, in sport, momentum is real. The very coaches that cornered Islam were just coming off an upset loss. And now they've got to try to turn that around, put on their team face, hey, but now's your time, champ. Tough spot. Islam goes out, looks like $1 million. All of the talk leading into the fight with Jack had to do with Ilia Topuria. I mean, I was even part of those debates. And to extend the conversation, I picked a weight class. Everybody else had assumed it was 170. I'm up there. Got a panel, people around me. Everybody's assuming that Islam rather is going to pull back down to 155 pounds. And that's what Islam had said. I was against that, and I said, look, once he makes weight on Friday for his first time ever at 170 pounds, once he feels how good he's going to feel, once he sees how much he likes this, we're not going to see him back at 155. But moreover, that fight, Islam versus Ilia, that fight is a bigger fight if you get it at 170. Because first off, you guys, you don't care you don't care at all what they weigh in at. You don't care if they don't even weigh in, right? To a fan's mind, it is. You don't care if they get into a street fight and somebody records it. You will take that street fight with you throughout time, and in your different gyms and dojos and martial arts associations argue over who won the fight. That is how little we care about scales. But if you do it at 170, you open an opportunity purely for marketing reasons, but champ, which is fascinating. Which, by the way, Ilia Topuria 1 week ago today was ranked number 1 in the world pound for pound. Ilia Topuria has not been beat and is no longer ranked number 1 pound for pound. And something tells me the next guy that beats Jack Del Maddalena does not become the number 1 ranked pound for pound. Like, there doesn't seem like there was a colossal undertaking or a seismic type shift within our industry to take a guy's number 1 ranking away and pull it down to a guy that won a title a weight class up. I'm just sharing for you, it's something's off. And now what do we do with Islam now? Something is off. Like, the idea of Islam pulling down and taking on Ilia Topuria, it's not as cool right now. It is not the novelty that it once was, because now we've got that problem solved. We got Sarukian. I get why nobody's talking about Islam versus Ilia. It's because now we have this new information and the landscape changes very quickly, but now that is Sarukian. We want Sarukian in there. And by the way, that comes with its own level of drama, which we love. That comes with the drama of, does that mean that Justin Gaethje's retired? That comes with the level of, wait a minute, is Max back in the division? I know that he's got the belt and he's floating around somewhere, and there was some kind of big talk about him and Charles Oliveira. Of course, that would have nothing to do with the title, but what about Paddy the Baddy, who jumped in the ring and did a face-off? I mean, it's not without a whole bunch of drama, but it still does take away, and it closes the book on 155 as it pertains to Islam. Islam now no longer needed. We've got a new Islam. He's right there. His name's Sarukian. Now let's focus on today's Islam. Who does he face at 170? Well, I know what Chael wants. Chael wants him to fight Kamaru Usman, but Kamaru Usman's told almost nobody. Kamaru Usman has mentioned it, but not much. He doesn't have a bullhorn standing on top of the roof in the tallest building in town like I'd be doing. He has mentioned it, but he hasn't demanded it. He's mentioned somewhere in there. But he hasn't said, this is my division, it's always been my division, and what an insult that you brought up a 55-pounder right in front of my face. I went out and did you guys a favor, and I took on Chimaev to a split decision who's the 85-pound champion. When I'm not looking, you bring in a guy from a weight class down that holds the belt that for so long was mine, and I don't even get a say in the matter? Islam didn't do any, or rather Kamaru didn't do any of those things. So I don't know how strong that position is. Ian Garry's going to get a world title fight. Does that mean right away? I don't know. I'm confident that Ian Garry's going to get a world title fight. But is it next? I don't know. Morales. 19 victories in a row and stopped the heir apparent. The heir apparent was Sean Brady. I'm not supposed to be sitting over here right now discussing what do we want to see for Islam. That's not the way this movie was supposed to play out. I am supposed to know and with certainty be able to tell you it's going to be Brady. But Morales stopped him. And when that fight got over, allegedly, I cannot confirm this, allegedly Dana pointed to Morales and said, "You're next." I can't confirm that that happened. I was there, but I wasn't watching. If that did happen, there's nothing for us to be talking about. If Dana told that young man, your stoppage of Brady just made you the number one contender, then that man will be fighting for the world championship. But that's not a fight that you guys are clamoring to see. That's not a fight that you're itching and jumping and jonesing to see. That's not a fight that you've ever talked about, or that you've ever pushed or gone to social media and did your hand in making happen, which in lies the entire premise of my conversation right now. Something at 170 with Islam is missing. Something's missing. And maybe that's Rakhmonov. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe once Daddy comes home and we can get a little bit of clarity. But how bad does Rakhmonov want to fight Islam? How bad does Islam want to fight Rakhmonov? I can't answer these questions, guys. I'm just asking these questions. But I'm forced to ask these questions because at welterweight right now, there's something. Something's missing.